In the tranquil village of Highbury, Emma Woodhouse reigns supreme. With wit, beauty, and ample fortune, she navigates life with a touch of arrogance and a penchant for meddling in the affairs of others. But when her beloved governess marries, Emma faces a new era of independence and a yearning for amusement. Amidst the social whirl of country balls and neighborly visits, she finds herself drawn to matchmaking and sets her sights on the unsuspecting Harriet Smith. Little does Emma know that her well-intentioned schemes will set in motion a chain of events that will challenge her assumptions, test her friendships, and even perhaps lead her to discover love in the most unexpected of places. With Harriet as her pawn, Emma embarks on a calculated campaign to elevate her social status. Drawing on her wealth and influence, she orchestrates introductions to eligible bachelors and lavishly drapes Harriet in fashionable threads. Yet, as Mr. Elton's handsome face bends closer in whispered compliments, Emma finds herself caught in a web of her own creation. Jealousy creeps in, blurring the lines between matchmaking and self-interest. Mr. Knightley, ever the observer, sees through Emma's facade and raises a cautionary voice. But will she heed his wisdom before her well-meaning schemes unravel? Under the warm sun and swaying trees of Box Hill, Emma lays her cunning plans here. A carefully curated gathering unfolds, with Mr. Elton and Harriet positioned as her unwitting players. Playful banter flows, orchestrated by Emma's invisible hand as she nudges them closer, hoping to ignite the spark of love. Yet, amidst the laughter and sunshine, Mr. Knightley stands as a solitary figure of reason. His discerning gaze pierces through Emma's charade, his skepticism about Mr. Elton's motives hanging heavy in the air. The idyllic picnic setting masks a brewing storm of misunderstandings and conflicting desires, leaving the reader to wonder, will Emma's grand design crumble under the weight of her own manipulation, or will true love blossom under the benevolent gaze of Box Hill? A new chapter unfolds in Highbury as Mr. Weston and his newly minted wife return. Bringing whispers of an enigmatic outsider, Frank Churchill, Emma, ever thirsty for excitement, finds herself captivated by rumors of his dashing persona. Meanwhile, her matchmaking schemes for Harriet are hindered by the arrival of Robert Martin, whose honest love clashes with Emma's classist ideals. Blinded by her desire for social elevation, she steers Harriet away from Martin's genuine affection, clinging to the mirage of Mr. Elton's supposed interest. But Mr. Knightley, the voice of reason, pierces through her facade, reminding her that true happiness shouldn't be measured by social standing. Will Emma heed his wisdom before her rigid class boundaries and manipulative scheming lead her down a treacherous path? Love hangs heavy in the air, but for Harriet it comes entangled with doubt and manipulation. Robert Martin, true in his heart, presents a proposal of marriage, only to be met with Emma's cold disapproval. Blinded by class boundaries, Emma twists Harriet's perception, leading her to reject Martin's heartfelt offer. Yet, within the satisfaction of her supposed success, a seed of doubt sprouts in Emma's mind. Mr. Elton's character, once shining, begins to appear tarnished, raising questions about his motives toward both Emma and Harriet. Mr. Knightley, ever the watchful observer, steps forward with harsh truths. He calls out Emma's meddling, highlighting the harm she inflicts in the name of love. But Emma, unwilling to relinquish control, clings to her self-proclaimed expertise, setting the stage for a clash of wills and a potential reckoning with her own flawed perspective. Will Emma's arrogance continue to cloud her judgment, or will she finally listen to the voice of reason and open her eyes to the consequences of her actions? Emma, armed with paintbrush and cunning, sets out to elevate Harriet's beauty under the guise of artistic expression. But as the brushstrokes dance across the canvas, it's not Harriet who captures Mr. Elton's attention. His gaze lingers on Emma, his words dripping with veiled compliments and suggestive remarks. A pang of jealousy pierces Emma's carefully constructed facade. Is Mr. Elton's charm directed towards Harriet as she intended, or has her manipulative scheme backfired, revealing a hidden interest in herself? Confusion clouds her emotions, leaving the reader to wonder, is Emma falling victim to her own machinations, or will she see through Mr. Elton's deceptive game before it's too late? Fate throws another curveball at Harriet, presenting her with Mr. Martin's renewed offer of marriage. But Emma, wielding the invisible strings of control, once again steers her towards rejection. Social standing becomes the weapon of choice, used to justify denying Mr. Martin's genuine affection. Yet, beneath the surface of Emma's manipulative charade, doubt creeps in. Mr. Elton's facade cracks, revealing glimpses of selfishness and calculation, shattering her initial image of him as the perfect gentleman. The once confident matchmaker is now plagued by uncertainty, fearing the consequences of her misplaced trust. Will Emma finally acknowledge her misjudgment and release Harriet from her self-imposed social constraints, or will she continue to cling to her flawed plan, risking further harm to her friend's happiness? The storm clouds of confrontation gather as Mr. Knightley steps forward, his voice a stark contrast to Emma's self-assured facade. He accuses her of manipulating Harriet's life, prioritizing social climbing over genuine happiness. Emma, stung by his critique, launches into a passionate defense of her actions, refusing to acknowledge the harm she has inflicted. This heated exchange becomes a battleground of ideologies, with Mr. Knightley's pragmatism clashing against Emma's unwavering belief in her own social superiority. Yet, amidst the verbal sparring, Mr. Knightley's words pierce through Emma's defenses, planting a seed of doubt that threatens to crumble her carefully constructed confidence. Will Emma remain blinded by her pride, or will she finally begin to question the consequences of her manipulative schemes? Highbury buzzes with excitement as Frank Churchill, the long-awaited guest, finally graces the town with his presence. His wit and charm are like quicksilver, captivating everyone, particularly Emma. A new wave of speculation washes over the town, whispering about potential triangles and shifting affections. Mr. Elton seems forgotten, while Frank's arrival fuels rumors of a new match for Emma. Yet Mr. Knightley stands as a solitary skeptic, his keen eyes recognizing a spark of calculation beneath Frank's charming veneer. As Jane Fairfax emerges from the shadows, her beauty and intelligence pique Emma's competitive spirit. New faces, hidden motives, and unspoken desires set the stage for a complex unfolding of events in the chapters to come. Armed with good intentions and a touch of manipulation, Emma embarks on a charitable visit, weaving a web of opportunity for Mr. Elton to finally declare his love for Harriet. Leaving them alone in a picturesque setting, Emma anticipates the blossoming of romance, but reality shatters her expectations. Mr. Elton's lukewarm response exposes his true colors, a self-absorbed opportunist with no genuine interest in Harriet. Humiliation washes over Emma, coupled with the bitter sting of misjudgment. Her once wavering confidence in her matchmaking skills crumbles, revealing a newfound vulnerability. Mr. Knightley, ever the observer, witnesses Emma's fall from grace and extends a hand of comfort, offering solace in the midst of her self-inflicted turmoil. This pivotal moment marks a shift in their dynamic as Emma's self-assured facade fades and a glimpse of the woman beneath emerges. The arrival of Mr. and Mrs. John Knightley brings a wave of warmth and fresh perspective to Hartfield. Amidst the family gatherings and lively conversations, news arrives from London that shatters Emma's world. Mr. Elton, the object of her matchmaking zeal, announces his engagement to another woman, leaving Emma exposed and humiliated. Forced to confront her misjudgment and manipulative actions, she finds solace in the unexpected vulnerability of her sister, Isabella. Isabella's struggles in her own marriage spark an internal reflection within Emma, prompting her to question her assumptions and confront the consequences of her self-centered behavior. Mr. Knightley, ever the steadfast presence, extends a hand of support and guidance. He helps Emma navigate the treacherous path of self-awareness, encouraging her to acknowledge her mistakes and embrace humility. As the chapter closes, a seed of hope blooms. Emma, stripped of her self-imposed grandeur, stands on the precipice of personal growth, perhaps even venturing towards uncharted romantic territory. In the wake of her self-inflicted turmoil, Emma finds solace in the unwavering support of Mr. Knightley. His gentle words and grounded wisdom pierce through her humiliation, paving the way for reconciliation. With a newfound humility, Emma acknowledges her mistakes and recognizes the value of Mr. Knightley's pragmatism. As Harriet returns, seeking refuge from another disappointment, Emma extends the same empathy she once denied. Encouraging Harriet to follow her heart and embrace genuine love, Emma relinquishes her control and celebrates the possibility of self-discovery. This chapter closes with a sense of renewal. The sting of past errors remains, but it is accompanied by a quiet optimism for the future. Emma, stripped of her illusions, stands on the threshold of a new chapter, her newfound humility paving the way for both personal growth and, perhaps, a rekindled connection with Mr. Knightley. Sunlight bathes Box Hill in a golden glow, yet shadows creep and dance beneath the laughter. Emma, our self-proclaimed Queen of Highbury, finds her usual amusement laced with unease. Frank Churchill, the captivating whirlwind, holds court, mesmerizing the crowd with his wit and musical gifts. But Emma cannot ignore the subtle glances that pass between him and Jane Fairfax, those veiled messages that prickle at her carefully constructed world. Seeking solace in a secluded path, Emma and Frank engaged in a hushed conversation, their words shrouded in an aura of secrecy. Is it harmless flirtation or something more? The path, once idyllic, takes on an oppressive air, leaving Emma with a gnawing suspicion that refuses to be quelled. As the picnic winds down and carriages roll away, the shadows at Box Hill seem to linger, hinting at the tumultuous journey ahead. Highbury dons its mask of frivolity once more, transforming into a stage for a lively game of charades. Costumes swirl, gestures exaggerate, and witty barbs fly faster than falling leaves. Emma, ever the competitive spirit, throws herself into the fray, determined to emerge the victor. But amidst the light-hearted theatrics, a darker drama unfolds. A furtive exchange, a discreetly passed note. Frank and Jane weave a secret tapestry amidst the charade's boisterous dance. Mr. Knightley, watchful as ever, observes the scene with a knowing gaze. His silence speaks volumes, a cryptic warning hanging in the air. The playful game becomes a battlefield of hidden desires and veiled intentions, leaving Emma feeling more unsettled than entertained. Driven by unease and suspicion, Emma embarks on a quest for truth. Jane's lodgings, usually a haven of quiet contemplation, become a stage for confrontation. As Emma delves deeper, Jane's facade crumbles, revealing hidden talents and a sharp intellect that challenge Emma's perceived superiority. But the true shock lies in the truth that spills from Jane's lips. Frank's past, a tapestry woven with deceit and broken promises, unravels before Emma's eyes, shredding the illusions she so meticulously constructed. Shame and regret wash over her like a tidal wave, the weight of her manipulative actions a heavy burden to bear. With a humbled heart, she seeks solace in genuine apology, her words a bridge across the chasm she created between herself and Jane. Frank's hurried departure echoes the hasty retreat of a falling star, leaving behind a trail of dust and disappointment. Mr. Knightley, a stoic lighthouse in the storm, offers Emma a safe harbor in the midst of wreckage. His quiet reassurance and wavering support become a balm to her wounded pride. Recognizing the need for introspection, Emma confronts her past with unflinching honesty. Past mistakes loom large, stark reminders of the dangers of manipulation and self-delusion. But amid the regret, a new resolve sparks. Through acts of kindness and genuine outreach, she seeks to mend bridges burned and build a foundation of compassion. Harriet, ever forgiving, welcomes her back, their friendship strengthened by shared vulnerabilities and newfound respect. The social landscape of Highbury shifts ever so subtly as whispers of Emma's transformation begin to circulate. As the leaves start to turn ablaze with autumn hues, so too does Emma's spirit undergo a subtle transformation. Introspection becomes her new companion as she seeks solace in quiet reflection and self-examination. The crackling fire in Mr. Weston's hearth casts a warm glow on her contemplative moments, its gentle flames mirroring the flicker of self-discovery within her. Mr. Weston, ever wise and kind, offers guidance without judgment, his gentle counsel a lighthouse guiding her through the shifting currents of her emotions. Charitable endeavors become her newfound passion, acts of kindness blooming like wildflowers in the wake of her past missteps. She embraces humility, finding beauty in the simple act of giving, her once self-aggrandizing gaze shifting towards the needs of others. The whispers of change ripple through Highbury, a sense of respect and admiration replacing the echoes of past criticism. A crisp winter air hangs over Highbury, yet a warmth radiates from the heart of its queen. Emma, transformed by her journey of introspection, stands at the precipice of a new chapter. Mr. Knightley, the silent observer who stood witness to her growth, surprises her with a declaration of his own. His words, heartfelt and genuine, offer her not just the promise of love, but a partnership built on mutual respect and understanding. Tears of joy spring to her eyes as she accepts, the burden of past mistakes lifted by the weight of his unwavering devotion. The community gathers to celebrate their union, a tapestry woven with forgiveness, acceptance, and the warmth of shared joy. As Emma gazes towards the future, hand in hand with Mr. Knightley, her heart brims with hope. The path ahead may hold challenges, but she faces them with a newfound sense of self-awareness and an unyielding faith in the transformative power of love and growth.